Timothy Snyder, on freedom. In On Freedom, Timothy Snyder embarks on a profound exploration of what it truly means to be free, challenging traditional notions by distinguishing between negative and positive freedom. Through vivid narratives, such as the liberation stories from Ukrainian villages, Snyder highlights that true freedom is not merely the absence of oppression or barriers, but the presence of supportive structures that empower communities to thrive. The book delves into the essential elements of freedom: sovereignty, unpredictability, mobility, factuality, and solidarity, each shaping a holistic approach to understanding and achieving liberty. Readers are introduced to thought-provoking discussions on the role of empathy, the dangers of digital predictability, and the importance of collaborative societal infrastructures. This summary invites you to rethink freedom, not as an individual possession, but as a collective journey toward a society that nurtures human dignity and potential.
True Freedom Unveiled. Imagine freedom as more than just the removal of chains. There are two faces to freedom: negative freedom, which liberates us from barriers, and positive freedom, which empowers us to fully thrive. Negative freedom may remove oppression, like freeing occupied Ukrainian villages, yet real freedom is deeper. It's not merely about escaping the cellar of captivity, as seen in Yehidny, where mere survival wasn't enough. True freedom requires the foundation to nurture a future, ensuring children can play safely and communities can flourish on more than rebuilt homes. Positive freedom emerges from building a system backed by family, community, and a government that people can trust. It demands a presence of conducive conditions, social, moral, and physical, that hold the potential for everyone to live with dignity and purpose. Freedom is not a legacy to be handed down nor a gift for a nation to bestow. It is crafted, sustained, and invigorated through collective human endeavor. Consider the bold stance of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who, instead of fleeing during the Russian invasion, chose to remain in Kiev. His decision underscores that real freedom lies in the presence of courage and commitment, a determination to uphold what is precious, even amidst peril. It's about confronting hardship, not evading it, and pursuing what is right. The ongoing narrative will explore 5 crucial elements that foster genuine freedom: sovereignty, unpredictability, mobility, factuality, and solidarity. Furthermore, it will delve into ways governments can embody these principles to nurture society's freedom. True freedom, ultimately, is about paving paths that allow every individual to live and realize their fullest potential. Understanding freedom. Freedom begins with sovereignty, a profound grasp of oneself and others. This goes beyond mere autonomy or self-awareness; it's an appreciation of our shared humanity. Drawing on Edith Stein's philosophy, real personal sovereignty is achieved when we perceive not merely physical beings, but living, subjective bodies. Stein distinguishes between 2 German terms for body: Körper, the objective form, and Leib, the subjective, living body. Recognizing others as Leib invites empathy, allowing us to truly understand ourselves by seeing others as they view us. Empathy breaks free from the us versus them mentality inherent in negative freedom, which defines freedom as the absence of obstruction by others. This mindset detaches us, leaving us susceptible to manipulative influences. Positive freedom, on the other hand, fosters connections and mutual understanding, offering a more authentic autonomy. True freedom emerges when we perceive ourselves within a broader human context. Historically, leaders like Hitler and Stalin have wielded power by dehumanizing others, treating them as Körper instead of Leib, and promoting the idea that freedom involves eliminating those who differ from us. Such negative freedom focuses on defensive nationalism and preservation, culminating in violence and oppression rather than liberation. By denying others their humanity, we diminish our own freedom. Empathy is crucial for embracing our role in the collective human experience. Freedom transcends individualism and thrives as a cooperative endeavor that bridges generations, reinforcing our interconnectedness and shared destiny. Embrace unpredictability. Unpredictability is a vital form of freedom, safeguarding us from the dreariness of a predetermined existence. Václav Havel, a profound thinker shaped by the turbulence of democracy, Nazi occupation, and communist rule in the Czech Republic, saw firsthand how predictability corrodes freedom. He observed how under communism, a cynicism-ridden society accepted conformity, surrendering to an "everything is shit" mindset. This predictability signified what Havel termed unfreedom, stripping away authenticity in choice. Instead, unpredictability differentiates vibrant individuals from mere components in a mechanistic world. Havel's foresight extended into the digital realm, where he anticipated how technology might reduce personal autonomy by channeling individuals into predefined states. This mirrored the conformity of his communist-era experiences, posing a threat to individuality. The rise of technology presents dual opportunities, tools for progress and potential pitfalls for manipulation. Yet, the lure of technology leads to fragmented focus and diminished self-awareness, ensnaring us in addictive loops of social media and reducing our autonomy. This gradual erosion of freedom is not speculative. As technology increasingly influences our decisions and perceptions, we inch closer to becoming predictable entities, easily categorized and controlled. To counter this trend, a conscious resistance is vital. By intentionally engaging with technology, reclaiming our capacity for choice and depth, we protect our sovereignty as unpredictable, free-thinking individuals. True freedom thrives in unpredictability and intentional living, challenging us to rise above subjugation by remaining dynamic and sovereign in a world edged towards conformity. Paths to true freedom. Sovereignty and unpredictability highlight the essence of a crucial freedom, mobility. Mobility isn't just about physical movement, it's about carving your own path and shaping your future, free from the confines of predetermined structures or historical determinism. This concept formed the backbone of the American dream, a promise of real choices enabled by fair wages and robust institutions after the Great Depression. Here, freedom meant opportunity, not just absence of constraints. Yet, this dream faltered when freedom was misconstrued as the absence of all governmental influence, a shift epitomized during Ronald Reagan's presidency in the 1980s. Under this belief, dismantling governments, unions, and regulations became synonymous with liberty. However, these policies hindered social mobility instead. By the mid-20th century, Americans could reasonably expect to surpass their parents' economic standing, but by the 1980s, this promise diminished to a mere 50% likelihood. Wealth, rather than spreading evenly, pooled with the elite 0.01%, who now wield disproportionate economic power while enjoying lower tax rates than the working class. Such disparities lead to a sense of stagnation, sapping motivation and obscuring future possibilities, supporting the politics of inevitability which claim the current capitalistic model is the sole route to freedom. Moreover, the rise of eternity politics compounds this, as certain leaders, like Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, exploit nostalgias to persuade people to shun progress, entrapping them in a myth of a glorified past. Navigating away from these traps requires historical awareness. Understanding history reveals that the future is not fixed, it has always offered multiple paths. Freedom emerges from acknowledging and pursuing these alternative routes, lest we remain bound within the confines of inevitability, nostalgia, or worse, catastrophe. The freedom of truth. Understanding the factual essence of our world, whether through science, history, or societal norms, empowers us to forge our own futures with informed decisions. This form of freedom, known as factuality, shields us from manipulation and aligns our understanding of the world with reality. In contrast, the politics of negative freedom often thrive on ignoring facts, offering dangerously simplistic solutions. History has shown us catastrophic examples. Karl Marx envisioned freedom through the abolition of property, whereas Hitler sought it by eliminating entire races. Today, some American politicians claim freedom emerges from the dissolution of government interference. Each approach grossly oversimplifies global complexities, dismissing fundamental truths of science and life. We witness historical manipulation in Stalinist Russia, where rewriting facts to align with political narratives became the norm. George Orwell aptly termed this doublethink, a concept hauntingly relevant to contemporary Russian politics and even certain facets of American political discourse. The strategic use of the big lie, a term coined by Hitler, exemplifies how immense falsehoods can appear credible because of their sheer audacity. This tactic surfaced in recent history when Donald Trump perpetuated the myth of a rigged 2020 election, despite significant evidence proving otherwise. His claims led to the violent January 6 Capitol insurrection and fostered a doublethink environment among his followers, who cling to contradictory beliefs about that day. Such deceit threatens the very bedrock of American democracy by eroding trust in the electoral system, potentially destabilizing the nation towards authoritarian rule. Truth becomes crucial for grasping events like Trump's attempted coup, allowing us to live genuinely instead of being swayed by lies. Yet in this digital era, misinformation proliferates swiftly, overshadowing factual local journalism. Reliance on algorithms for news consumption deepens societal divides, promoting an us versus them mentality. To counteract this, we must revive the pursuit of truth as an indispensable human value, a pursuit that transcends legislation and definition. As the incisive writer James Baldwin asserted, truth itself is a form of freedom, albeit elusive to measure, yet critical for achieving justice. This truth rests on the unity of solidarity, an essential element driving the subsequent discourse. United in freedom. The essence of true freedom lies in solidarity, the understanding that freedom should not be a self-centered pursuit. If we fail to embrace this collective approach, society risks falling into divisions caused by racism, inequality, and despair. Success for a few breeds only resentment when others are left behind. Czech President Václav Havel's assertion, "No freedom without solidarity," captures this necessity for collaboration and mutual responsibility. Solidarity empowers all, enabling movements like the American Civil Rights Movement and Poland's 1980s labor movement to reshape societies. The pursuit of economic efficiency often undermines this vital sense of solidarity, reducing people to mere tools for profit. This dehumanizing drive traces a grim history from the American Industrial Revolution to modern exploitative work conditions. In a similar vein, today's libertarianism, which holds the free market in higher regard than societal equity, threatens the balance needed for freedom. It perpetuates a narrow mindset that unjustly pits entrepreneurship against social justice. However, harmony between these ideals is possible. Social mobility and fair public services, like education and healthcare, form the bedrock for innovation and entrepreneurship. Empowered individuals are more equipped to seize opportunities and foster progress. Solidarity springs from the notion of interconnection, suggesting that together we wield the power to mold a society that values health, dignity, and life over profits. By acknowledging our collective responsibility, we can aim to construct a future in which everyone has the chance to prosper. Freedom's true potential. Imagine a society where freedom truly thrives. To make this a reality, the government must play a vital role by promoting positive freedom in meaningful ways. Achieving this vision requires an overhaul in technology ethics and data management, ensuring human needs guide technology. Policies must make technology serve us, not the reverse. Consider a thorough charter for digital fairness, where transparency rules. All online content should be traceable to real individuals, with clear explanations of the underlying code. This accountability encourages companies to take responsibility for their platforms while empowering users with control over their personal data, like opting into data share and accessing or correcting information. For practical freedom, society needs robust foundations, affordable public education, universal voting rights, unrestricted healthcare access, and support for renewable energy innovations like fusion power. Imagine the potential of reinvesting the $1 trillion lost annually to tax evasion by reverting to the more equitable 1980 tax codes. Despite typical partisan divides, unity is within reach. The philosopher Leszek Kolakowski suggested blending conservative, liberal, and socialist ideas, each contributing uniquely. Freedom, seen as a core life element, aligns with liberalism, as a virtue, with conservatism, and requiring social structures, with socialism. Together, these ideologies form a cooperative tapestry of strength. Reflecting on his own children's future, the author shares his optimism for change. Inspired by Simone Weil's notion that our willingness is key to miracles, he asserts that by grasping freedom's essence, we pave the way for a brighter future, one where freedom is not just an idea but a lived experience for generations.
Timothy Snyder's On Freedom compellingly argues that true freedom transcends the superficial absence of constraints. It requires positive conditions that allow individuals and communities to flourish. The book emphasizes that real liberty stems from recognizing our interconnectedness and building supportive environments that enable each person to pursue their aspirations with dignity. Snyder warns against the perils of predictability and misinformation, urging readers to embrace unpredictability and truth as cornerstones of freedom. Additionally, he advocates for a blend of political perspectives, liberal, conservative, and socialist, to foster a balanced society. In a world often divided by ideological extremes, Snyder's work reminds us that solidarity and empathy are vital for ensuring a freer and more equitable future. By embracing these principles, we can collectively reshape our society, reflecting a profound commitment to the enduring human quest for freedom.